my honorable colleagues, I am Makki Abubakar Yalleman. I represent the people of Malam Maduri Kaugama Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, I'm coming under Order 8, Rule 4, to present matter of urgent national importance, as well coming for the suspension of the all relevant section to enable me present this motion today, sir. I so move.
Any seconder, please.
My motion is an urgent need to pre-sign the order banning tricycle operation within the Abuja metropolis. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Speaker, I remain Kabir Al-Asarurum. I represent Rano Kibe Bunkura Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Kano State. I stand to second the motion. Ably Mumbai, Hon Makki Yalleman. I so second.
Sign the order banning tricycle operation within Abuja metropolis. The House notes that small businesses, usually referred to as small and medium-scale enterprises, are the backbone of any developed economy, playing a key role in resolving the issue of unemployment in society. Put differently, the overall economic output of the nation is the aggregate of all small businesses within the country. I want the House also to note that in South Africa, small and medium enterprises account for 91% of businesses, 60% of employment, and contribute 52% of total gross domestic product. And according to the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, small and medium-scale enterprises in Nigeria have contributed about 48% of national gross domestic product in the last 5 years, accounting for 96% of businesses and 84% of employment. Cognizant of the importance of the small, medium, and enterprise to national development, as highlighted above, and considering Abuja as the fastest developing city in Africa, the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria, and in potential hope for local and international businesses, the recent order by the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, precisely on Tuesday, 12 November 2019, to ban all tricycle operation within the Abuja metropolis without notice, awareness, requisite alternative, and safe landing for the operators who will lose their means of livelihood. And the teeming Nigerian masses that depend daily on these tricycle operators to carry on their businesses in another attempt, knowingly or unknowingly, to inflict more pain on the already suffering ordinary citizens of Nigeria. Conscious that those small-scale businesses, being the blocks where the economy is built, they ought to be protected, encouraged, and motivated in line with the economic policy of the vibrant government, more especially this government of Muhammad Buhari. Acknowledging that tricycle transportation is an indisputable one, sure, easy, affordable, and practical means of transportation available to the ordinary inhabitants. The real masses in Nigeria, especially in Abuja, worried that the intention behind the order banning the tricycle operation may be good, but the final effect on the citizens that elected us will not only be traumatic, but also will lead to increased social menace of unemployment, heinous crime like armed robbery, kidnapping, and even economic retrogression in the Federal Capital Territory. Concerned, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, that these tricycle operators, as well as the passengers making use of them, voted for us so as to deliver democratic dividend to them, not occasion greater hardship or increased suffering on them. I want this honorable House to resolve that. Call the federal government, and particularly the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, to immediately resign this unpopular and inhuman order totally, or at least for the time being. 2, that the Minister of Federal Capital Territory should put proper measures in place to alternatively engage the youth who depend on tricycle or living, and create sufficient awareness before similar order is made and effected in future. 3, sir, mandate the House Committee on Land Transport, Acts, Loan and Debt, Federal Capital Area Council, and ancillary matters, information, national orientation, ethics and value, poverty alleviation, urban development, and rural planning to jointly look into this issue, dialogue with the parties, resolve same promptly, and report to this Honorable Chamber in 2 weeks. I so move, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Makki Abubakar Yalleman. I represent the good people of Malamadori, Kaugama Federal Constituency. I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, these Kekena Pep operators, most of them, they came from my constituency. I was on national assignment. I've been receiving several calls from them that there is a threat that the Minister of Federal Capital Territory insisted they should leave the Abuja Federal Capital to go back to our villages. I wanted to quote section 14(2)(b) and C, but because I see that it didn't reach to that level, that's why I didn't even put it in my motion, sir. I mentioned in my resolution that the Committee on Transportation, Poverty Alleviation, Rural Development, they should come together and see how we are going to either call the Minister of Federal Capital Territory or all the agencies concerned related to this, Mr. Speaker, to see that we call their attention in time. Otherwise, particularly me, I'm going to suffer it. Because most of them, they even drive their vehicles. They are in my village. They didn't even stay in their own villages. They are waiting for me to get a job for them. Mr. Speaker, and this is my first time of coming to this chamber, I want my honorable colleagues to cooperate with me and give an urgent attention to it. To give an urgent attention, sir, so that the minister will quickly revert his own decision on this matter. I so move, sir.
To take today, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it.